Okay guys, welcome back. This is officially the first video in this module. In this video we are going to be looking at how we can create lists, index the list, and also how we can slice out items or sub lists. Okay, that's what we are going to be looking at in this video. So without wasting much of your time, let's move down to our IDE. So as usual, I'll be using Jupyter Notebook. So first we are going to see how can we create a list. Okay, now for you to create lists, what you need to do is to use a square bracket. For example, I want to create a list of names, so I can use a square bracket. That's what you have. Now a list is non-homogeneous, so it can contain one or more different data types, okay, or different data types. So I can have a number in it, I can have an integer in it, I can have a floating number in it, I can have names in it, and strings, and the rest of that is actually allowed. But for this, since I'm looking at names, I'm going to use just strings within this list. So the first name I'm going to have is Smith, the second name I'm going to have is Delzy, the third name I'm going to have is Gladys. Okay, that's what we have there. And the fourth name I'm going to have is Princess. Okay, so this is what we have here. So this is how you create a list. And let's assume there's somebody named, for some reason the person named 5 or named 6, so that can also come into this list. So if I want to look for the length of this list, I'll just say give me the length of names. That's the first thing we have to look at. How can we determine the length? So that's going to give us the length of name as 6. That means we have 6 items in this list. So you can go ahead and extract particular items from this list. It is actually possible. So I can say give me what is in index 0. So lists indexing start from 0. Okay, just like strings and every other data type, every other container you have in Python, their indexing starts from 0. So Smith is in index 0, this is in index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. So you can see the length is 5. The last index, the index of the last item, is always going to be 1 less than the length. So we can take advantage of that. Okay, so I say give me names of 0, that's going to give me Smith. If I ask for names of 3, and that's going to give me Princess, because that's what I have in index 3, and this is index 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's what I have there. So that's how you extract a particular item. Now if you want to extract the last item, one thing you can do is to say give me names of, since I have just 5 items in this list, it means the last item is going to be index 4, and that's going to give you 6. Okay, but one other thing we could do to extract the last item is to make it dynamic by saying give me the length of names, then extract, remove 1 from it. So if the length of name is 5, removing 1 is going to give us 4. Then I'm saying give me what is at index 4. That's still going to work out, and this is how we make indexing to be dynamic in almost all programming languages. Okay, but Python makes it quite different for us. We can use this in Python, however Python comes with negative indexing. It allows you to index things from the back. So when you're indexing from the last item, you start with negative index. So you're going to say what is the last item, which is 6, is index of -1, this is -2, this is -3, this is -4, -5. So that's one thing we can do with Python. So I can have this negative indices by saying, okay, give me what is at index of -1. That's going to extract the last item. If you want to extract the item before that, you say give me what's at index of -2. That's going to extract the item before that. And since I have 5 items in this list, or I have 5 items, I can say give me what's in index of -4, which is going to extract the second item. Okay, because the first item is going to be index of -5, and the second item is Delzy, that's index of -4. So this is how you extract a particular item from a list. Okay, next we are going to see how can we slice a list. Slicing means you want to bring out a sub list from a particular list. That's what we call slicing. So that's what we are going to look at next. How can we slice items from a list? So I'm going to call this slicing. So for you to slice items from a list, this is the structure. You have the list, and then you have the start item, you have the stop, and then you have the increments. So one thing you have to notice is this: the start item is where you want to start slicing from. The stop is where you want to stop at, but it's not going to take note of this stop item, so it's going to end at the index before the stop index. The increment is how many items you want to step by. The default for this is index 0. The default for this is the length of the list, and the default for this is 1. So default for start is 0, default for stop is the length of the list, the default for increment is 1. So if I go ahead, I'm going to comment this out because I don't want it to run. So if we go back and look, let's create another list. We are going to call it a list of numbers. So this is going to be just some generic numbers. So I have this. So first let's look at the length of this. So the length of numbers, it's going to be 12. I have 12 items there. So since I have 12 items, if I say give me number from index 0 down to index 4, it's going to extract this down to index 4. I think that should be this. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can see I'm stopping at index 3 because the last index is not going to be taken into consideration. It's going to stop at index 3 because I gave it 4, so it's going to take 0, 1, 2, and 3. So that's what I'm going to do here. So that's, and this I have an error. Why? Because I spelled numbers wrongly, so it's meant to be numbers, not number. So this is what I have. It's taken from index 0 down to index 3. But I can still do the same thing by extracting the start index. So I can just remove the start index, and since I'm starting from 0, even if I ignore the start index, it will assume that it's going to be index 0. So that's still going to work out fine for us. Similarly, you can extract the last 3 items. If I want to extract the last 3 items, we know that the last item is having an index of 11. That's the last item. So I can say, okay, take it down to index 12, which means it's not going to include the last item, which is not going to include 12. It stop at 11. Then what's going to be the start value? So let's see. I have 11, which is the last item. The one before that is 10, and the one before that is 9. So I'm going to say start from index 9 down to index 12. So it's going to take index 9, take index 10, take index 11, but it's not going to include index 12. To start with, there is even no index 12 in our list, so that's going to be ignored. It will stop at index 11. So it's not ignoring index 12 because we don't have index 12. No, it's ignoring index 12 because index 12 is the last index, and the last index while you're slicing is not always considered. So that's the reason it's ignoring it. So if you run this, it will give you the last 2 items, which is 8, 6, and 6. And let's confirm that. Okay, that's correct. So 866, that's the last 3 items. So that's what's slicing out for you. Okay, one thing we can do instead of extracting it this way, since we are trying to include, we are taking it down to the last item, we can decide, like I explained earlier on, to ignore the stopping index. Then it's going to see that we want it to take it down to the last item, so it's going to give us the same results. Okay, that's what we have in that case. So this is how you slice the list. But now what if I want to slice this list and I want to step over some items? So I have this, I want to step over some items. Let's say I have from 1 down to 6, step by 2. So what is it going to do? So what it is going to do here is this: it will start from index 1, which is this. It will take 3. You're stepping by 2, so it will move over this. It will take 6, so 3, 6. It will move over this, and then it will take this other 6. Okay, So let's see, we're asking it to start from index 1. You should stop at index 6, which we know that is going to stop at index 5. So let's see where is index 5. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means this is where it's going to stop. So it would extract 3, 6, and then this 6. So let's see how that works. Okay, so that's it. 3, 6, 6. That's what it's going to extract out. So here we are saying step by 2. So you can even say you should step by 3, you should step by 4, and the rest of that. You can make these things to also accommodate negative indices, and it's still going to work out. Okay. For example, if I want to extract the last 3 items, another method I could use is to say, okay, start from -3 and end at, just start from -3 down to the end. -3 is I think that should be the 10th item, since we have 12 items in our list. So -3 is the 10th item, so we are saying take from the 10th item down to the last item. So that's going to give us the last 3 items, which is 8, 6, or which are 8, 6, and 6. So this is how you slice a particular list. Now we can take advantage of these negative indices and use this slicing operation to reverse a list. So I could do something like this. I can say give me numbers, start from the beginning, move down to the end. That's why I have nothing in there, but use an index of -1. So what this is going to do is to reverse it, to extract the item but in the reverse order. So you take from the last item becomes the first, and the rest of that. So this is what you're going to get. So now it is 6, 6, 8, 8, opposing what we have here. Okay, so you can see we've reversed these lists by using negative indices. Okay, so this is where we are going to stop this video. In the next video, what we are going to be looking at is how we can change items in the list, and also how we can take note of it or make use of string list methods, because there are different methods we have in lists. Okay, just like we had it for string, so we also have a lot of methods in lists. That's what we are going to be looking at in the next video. So as usual, if you enjoy my video, okay, if it's educative enough for you, go ahead and subscribe, and also like the video, and also click on the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.